and thank you for joining our JJ Learning Lab. Today we're talking about Korean menu trends, and we're very excited to have the Managing Director of CJ Foods, Jisu Han. CJ Foods is the largest food manufacturer in Korea, and Jisu is going to be talking about the dishes and the flavours that are trending in the UK. And if you'd like to add any of those dishes and concepts to your menu, we're also going to be hearing from Tushar from Peckwater brand, who is going to show you how to price up those products and introduce Korean concepts to your business. And we can connect you with Tushar and Peckwater after this webinar. If you have any questions, just pop them into the chat box and we'll take them after each slide. Other than that, that's all from me. Over to you, Jisu.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you to the JJ Foodservice team for having me here at the exciting webinar. As introduced, my name is Jisu Han, Managing Director of CJ Food Sales UK. I spent the last 9 years of my career at CJ Chewy, the largest food manufacturer in Korea, and was involved in expanding the food business to global markets, including the US, Australia, and now the UK market. What I'm thrilled about is that Korean food trend has reached an all-time high, and thus, although the UK's packaged food market is already mature, for us it is still an emerging market with a huge headroom ahead. Not to mention that our European business is growing at over 35% year-on-year since 2018, when we acquired a frozen plant in Germany. We are expecting even higher growth in the next few years. I've recently been appointed to the MD position this year, and it is a great pleasure to introduce you to Korean food at my very early stage in the role. Today, I would like to guide you through where I think Korean food is at now and where this trend is heading, and hopefully at the end of the webinar, you'll be able to think about what opportunities you might have in your business regarding Korean cuisine. So let's start by setting the scene. Over the last few decades, we have witnessed how Asian cuisines have become a trend and have become an everyday menu. For example, Chinese dim sum, Vietnamese pho, Japanese sushi started out as a specialty dish, but has become something you can easily find around you, whether at the quick service restaurant or at the supermarket as a meal deal. So now entering the scene with unique flavors is the Korean cuisine. It's not just a trend, but it's becoming a category of its own. But why has it become such a big trend? So Korean food's rise is very much intertwined with the rise of Korean cultural exports, from films, K-dramas, series to K-pop. So the driving force behind the Korean food trend is what we call Korean wave, or Hallyu in Korean. So this wave isn't just pushing music, movies, and content, but it is bringing with it a whole cultural trend, including food. For example, Korean menu featured in films or series sparks the curiosities and make consumers want to experience the food themselves. Or if K-pop idols mention a certain menu or a brand as one of their favorites, their fans would all rush to Korea or Korean restaurants nearby to try the food the idols mentioned themselves. So this Korean wave is transforming what could have been just a mere interest into a tangible desire to experience Korean food. But despite the trend we witness globally and also in the UK, our consumer research in the UK indicates that there is a gap. So while many here today might recognize many of the Korean dishes, including kimchi, bulgogi, the actual consumption rates in the UK are surprisingly low compared to the popularity. So looking at the figures on the slide, by the way, this research was carried out in 2022 December, so I'm quite sure the awareness is higher than what it was 1.5 years ago. But this indicates that 13% of the consumers are aware of Korean food but have never experienced, and 16% answered they have tried but didn't within the past 1 year. So the key point of this data set is that the reason why they couldn't experience were mainly 2 points. So one, it's not available nearby, and two, they're not familiar with Korean food or menu. So the data suggests that the main barrier is low accessibility, given its popularity, and people just don't know what to try out out of the massive range of Korean menus. So let's look at what the current market is doing about this gap. The number of Korean restaurants is increasing at a very fast speed. You'll be able to find at least one Korean restaurant in every area of London, and it is expanding into other cities. When I first visited London years ago, the only place I could find a Korean restaurant in London was New Malden, which is the Korean town of London. But now you can find it in every corner. And more local restaurants that serve British, European, Japanese, etc., are integrating Korean-inspired dishes into their menus. But however, there's a catch. So Korean restaurants serve authentic food, but often focus on the full dining experience with Korean barbecue and extensive meals. And too much variety and heavy meals might not suit the consumers who are looking for something familiar or lighter to try out first. Meanwhile, local restaurants offering Korean dishes might prioritize familiar menus over authenticity, leading to a diluted culinary experience. And furthermore, what is accessible today lack authenticity in menu. There's no established brand committed for Korean, and they have limited variations. Often they range from kimchi, Korean fried chicken, and gochujang flavor. But what consumers want is something more than that. So acknowledging these challenges, it is clear that there's a significant opportunity for innovation, and this is why we decided to introduce the Bibigo-to-Go brand to the market, a virtual QSR brand, which is available through delivery platforms including Uber Eats and Deliveroo, etc. So just a brief background to my company, CJ Jejaedang. CJ is the largest and most loved food manufacturer in Korea. We have operations in 15 countries, and more than 60% of our sales are generated outside of Korea. We have 22 global and local brands, and Bibigo is the core global brand, which generates about $3 billion sales globally. And it's not just a brand for global consumers, but it is a Korean food dedicated brand, which is also loved by Korean consumers as well. We established the European regional headquarters in 2018, which was the year when we acquired a frozen manufacturer in Frankfurt, Germany. We now manufacture mainly our mandu, Korean-style dumplings, and gyozas, which are all frozen products. In 2022, we then established the UK branch with sales and marketing functions to become more agile in responding to the local trends and needs. So Bibigo being the largest K-food brand in Korea, and CJ being the largest food manufacturer in Korea, our brand Bibigo provides three key points that other brands cannot provide. One is quality. Since 1953, when we started the business as the first sugar manufacturer of Korea, CJ has been dedicated to ensuring high quality, both safe and taste quality of Korean food. Two is the brand. So as mentioned in the slide previously, Bibigo is not just a Korean food brand, but it is a brand loved by Korean people as well. So leveraging the global brand asset, awareness of Bibigo is growing at a very fast speed in the UK as well. So we started our Instagram page in 2022 with 0 followers. And now, as of today, we have over 29,000 followers. And three is the diverse portfolio. Bibigo is a very multi-category brand with 100 plus product lineups and provides a wide variety of Korean products from Korean dumplings, which are called mandus, fried rice, steamed rice, gochujang, kimchi, drinks, snacks, etc. in all product temperature from frozen, ambient to chilled. So with the three key points Bibigo can ensure, we built a menu for Bibigo-to-Go, which are one, widely known as a menu itself, two, familiar menus but added with a Korean twist, and three, trending menus that are gaining popularity among Generation Z through social media hype. So the three combinations of the menus are well balanced and generates around 24%, 50% as chicken is the top seller, and 24% respectively. This build of menu allows consumers an easy access and trial into Korean food, whether they want to stick to something familiar or take a challenge to try something new. The widely known menus are, of course, kimchi. They're fermented cabbage with Korean pepper. They're also widely available in local supermarkets. Familiar menus but with a Korean twist include mandu, which is Korean style dumplings. So the dumplings that you find in local groceries are Japanese or Chinese style gyozas or dim sum. Korean style has a thinner layer and is filled with meat and is bigger in size for mouthful taste. And the trending menus are something called like tteokbokki or rice bowls, mainly Korean street food. And I'm sure this is not very familiar to you, so I will explain what tteokbokki is on my next slide. So the reason why we also include not just the familiar, but something trending or seeding, although these menus might just be a short-term fad and plateau its growth, is because these menus gain popularity at a very fast speed and are the candidates for the next familiar menus in a short period of time. So I brought tteokbokki as an example. Tteokbokki is a dish with rice cakes and various toppings with sweet and spicy sauce. It is a comfort food for many Koreans and also one of the most popular street food in Korea. So when the PWB team and myself was constructing the menu in the very beginning of the Bibigo-to-Go project, we had an extensive discussion whether we should include tteokbokki in the menu or not. This is just last year, and back then tteokbokki wasn't something trending in the UK or something consumers were aware of. Well, we decided to include it in the menu, making it a smaller portion and lowering the price to encourage people to try it out. And the result was it became one of the top 3 best-selling items on the menus. And according to a survey by Korean Food Promotion Institute, tteokbokki ranked 6th in the top of mind Korean food menu globally, top 5 being kimchi, bibimbap, chicken, bulgogi, and Korean barbecue, the classics which a lot of people might know of. So the trend is shifting from the scenes of Korean street food in Korea to UK street food scenes, and then to consumers actually wanting them at home. So constantly watching out for trend and as a global leading K-food brand, actually creating these trends and incorporating them in our products and menus, we aim to make a larger Korean food wave to make consumers' dining tables more diverse and flavorful with Korean food. So that is at the end of my presentation, and I'll take questions.
Hi, Jisu. So I would like to know what dishes are popular on Bibigo.co.uk.
The top selling is, of course, our classic mandu, Korean style dumplings. When people try it at first, they can't see the difference between Japanese gyozas or our competitors. But then once they try it, they know the difference. It has a much more flavor to the fillings, more variety, and big to enjoy it as a side or as a snack menu. And the fastest growing product on our product lineup is, of course, the Korean fried chicken.
Korean fried chicken.
Yeah.
Is there an opportunity for pubs and general restaurants just to introduce a few Korean dishes to their menu, or do you think it has to be a full Korean concept?
Oh, you can of course try the Korean menu as an individual item on the menu. Yes, and our products are available through JJ Foodservice. And right now, what I'm aware of is only available to kitchens who do the Bibigo-to-Go brand, but we are having conversations to open our products to a wider range of customers. And also in pubs, you can see some Korean style fried chicken on pub menus or restaurant menus, but as a Korean, it doesn't feel very authentic to me. And I truly believe that UK consumers as well, if they can try both, they will like the authentic one better.
Alan is saying that is Spam still popular in Korea, or is that just Is that just something from the
Spam.
past?
Spam is our company manufactures spam in Korea. And I know that it's a very low cost packaged food in the US and also and other countries, but in Korea it's positioned at a very high price, and the recipe is very different from what is sold outside of Korea. And actually, the Homel team, which owns the spam brand, comes to visit Korea in our factory to try the spam in Korea itself. And it is also a cultural thing that we give them out as gifts on Korean holidays. So it is very popular.
So if we had to recommend us top 3 things to put on your menu, if you could only choose 3 things, are we saying mandu, the fried chicken, and the tteokbokki?
Yes, tteokbokki. Yes.
Oh, I can't pronounce it. We have another question from Alan. So Alan's British. He has 2 Korean establishments. He says that the customers' food knowledge over the past 5 to 10 years has increased, and the willingness of customers to try new dishes is growing all the time. That's fantastic, Alan. I think his question is coming up. Thank you so much, Lucy. That was really, really, really informative, really fantastic session. We'll now move forward on to Tushar.
First of all, good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking out time this morning to attend this session. And thank you, JJ's Food, for giving me opportunity to represent Peckwaters and speak to everyone. So my name is Tushar. I have over 6 years of experience in designing food brands as well as menu designing and pricing for takeaways and QSR brands. I'm currently working as a business insight and pricing manager with Peckwater brands, mainly responsible for curating and designing menus for various categories, as well as pricing the items to attain higher profitability. So let me introduce first Peckwater brands. So we are an operating platform which helps existing kitchen operators to sell products online on various platforms like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and Just Eat. We are a group of highly experienced people who work on data-driven methodologies to create digital food brands. We have a strong operation teams who work with our partners to curate training guides to train them to cook our food. And we have a strong marketing team to generate demands on the delivery platforms. We are the UK largest virtual food brand network, operating around in 6 countries apart from UK across Europe. Last year, we have doubled our revenue to 37 million. So we are growing year on year strongly since last 3 years. In the last 6 months itself, we have doubled our locations, the number of locations across Europe as well as UK. And last year, we were able to generate 63,000 pounds monthly sales for our partners, who, without adding on to any fixed cost, as well as taking their brands to online and sell them and generating demand on the various delivery platforms. So our motto is, you run the operations, you run the kitchen, and we'll take care of everything else. You can visit our website for greater details and get in contact if you want to work with us and work on and generate revenues through selling Korean cuisine as well. So broadly, if you look at restaurants, they can be categorized broadly into 2 types. One is the casual service restaurants, which predominantly consists of the dine-in restaurants and the Korean barbecue. These are high investment, high space requirement restaurants where you need certain level of operations as well as capital to start them. Second, there are quick service restaurants, which mainly consists of takeaways as well as delivery of cloud kitchens, which are predominantly only selling online food. If you look at the CSR or the casual service restaurants, they are broadly into 2 types of markets, premium and mid category market. These are the market categorization based on the pricing and the product offerings. So casual service restaurants comes under 2 parts. One is premium and the mid market, whereas the quick service restaurants kind of overlaps with mid market as well as the mass category. While operating the Korean cuisine, we have found out that most of the Korean brands or Korean specific restaurants kind of are best to operate in mid-market. I will be covering the menu design and the structure and as well as the pricing for higher profitability for the quick service restaurants, mainly focusing on takeaways as well as delivery kitchens. So on the menu design, menu design is a key lever where you need to maintain certain level of menu length as well as the breadth of the menu to attain or convert customers. There was a research done by one of the delivery platforms where it says that if the customer is able to scan your menu and add an item within 10 seconds of seeing the menu, they will be able to order. If the customer doesn't add a single item in 10 seconds, 90% chances that they will not end up any ordering any items, or you won't be able to attain get order from that customer. So in order to have menu structure and menu length is a key lever to have higher conversion of customers. What we have found out is the optimum menu structure for any cuisine or Korean specific cuisine is, I'll categorize into 6x5 and 5x5 structure. So, the 6 is the number of categories in which you have the menu, and 5, there is a minimum number of items in each category. So 6x5 and 5x5 structure is the best structure where you can have minimum number of SKUs you require to operate a cuisine, as well as have higher conversion and generate higher demand. So if you look at the left hand side of the slide, these are the 5 broad categories where any menu can be categorized into. The first one is the combo deals. These are very high efficient ways where you can push customers to have more number of items in an order and increase your average order value. Second, the starters and the salad, where it mainly consists of the fried chicken, the dumplings, and mandus. And that's where the mandu are very high popular. And slowly and steadily, fried chicken, along with some of the unique flavors which CJs have, are becoming popular as well. In the main course, in the third category, you have the typical noodles and fried rice. But one of the category in this is the bibimbap, which is a rice bowl, consists of protein, rice, and veggies. So that is also becoming one of the trending items in this category. The fourth is the side and sauces, which consists of mainly kimchi, tteokbokki, fries with Korean flavors, as well as some sauces dips, which like hot chang as hot sauces, which comes under the Korean flavor profile. And the last is the drinks and desserts. So in here you would need to have two types of drinks. I mean, it's good to have popular drinks like Coke, Fanta, which are famous, as well as a non-aerated drinks. What we have found out is, and in Korean cuisine, a lot of customers tend to order a non-aerated cuisine drink along with the other items which are offered in Korean cuisine. So these are the broad categories which your menu should be structured aligned with, and with each category having a minimum of 5 items in that. Out of that 5 items, 3 to 4 items should be a high selling items, which are very famous, trending in that particular category. And second, one or two items, you should have something of a unique flavor, which will give you a competitive edge and which will make your brand stand out as compared to the other competitors which you're fighting with. Some of the key points which you should be clear about is the length should be more than breadth. I'm sorry, going into technicalities, but these are the small bits which help you in designing the menu, having a good product offering, as well as catering to maximum number of customers and their requirement. The second is the offering should be aligned with the branding and its positioning. So like I said in the previous slide, you need to identify which market category you need to play in, whether it's premium, whether it's mid-market, or whether it's massy. So you should be able to align what are the product offerings in that particular category. And the last bit is 70 to 80%, 75 to 80% of the offering should be the high selling popular item. Like I said, 3 to 4 items out of 5 should be the high selling items, where customers tend to order again and again, whereas to one or two items should be the unique flavors which will help you make stand out among the competitors. Before moving to next slide, I mean, is there any question, Elliot?
Do we have any questions for Tushar? No, keep going.
Yeah, okay. So this is on the menu bit. Coming to pricing strategy, right? So, I mean, the key lever, pricing plays a key lever in profitability as well as higher customer conversion. What we have seen is during our research, 54% of the customers do come back and order again only if they feel valued by the brand. By mean valued, it means that value for the item which or the offering which you are giving. So pricing is a key role to have higher repeat customer as well as profitability and also get new customers. So I always approach pricing into three parts. One is to identify the lower and the upper bound. So we would be able to identify what's our target cost, target food cost is, and also upper bound where it gives me a range where I can play my pricing with. So based on my market positioning, the first thing is I should know the minimum pricing for items which I need to put in. So first is the lower bound where there are two types of methodologies which you can process with. One is the cost-based pricing and second is the profit-based pricing. The cost-based pricing is looking at your P&L and broadly, you should be able to know what is the target food cost you require to break even the profitability based on your fixed cost investment as well as the other cost, normal operating cost you require. You should be able to identify what's the percentage of food cost you should be having in order to break even. Second, also in profit-based pricing, you should be able to factor in some of the various labor cost plus wastage. For some items you would be required. Some items require high labor as well as there will be low wastage, high wastage as well. So you should be able to factor in that as a variable cost while pricing and finding out the lower bound or the minimum value you need to price those items at. The second methodology is to identify the upper bound, which is mainly driven by market and competitive benchmarking. What we have seen is it depends on two parts. One is you need to identify which competitors are you're competing with, which is dependent on two parts. One is the branding positioning. Again, that comes down to what type of offering and product offerings you're giving. And second, also in what category you need to play with. Like I said, Korean cuisine works best in the mid-market range since the demand is high and the supply is less, and some of the brands do play in premium as well, but the mid market is the broader range where most of the brands currently are priced at. So yeah, so like competitive benchmarking, it is important to know as brand positioning and the products you are offering. Using those and identifying major competitors, you should be able to do a competitive benchmarking and understand what's the upper bound of pricing I can go away with. In one of our research, what we have done testing as well in that, we identified that the pricing on delivery platforms kind of vary where you would be able to increase your prices by 15 to 20% if your rating is higher than 4.2. I mean, as compared to 5. If your rating is above 4.2, you should be able to charge premium around 15 to 20% without any loss of customers. So yeah, so that's on the upper bound. So using these two things, you should be able to have a range where I should be able to play with. Mind you, have your target food cost align with some of the discounting if you're running on online only. So you would have to factor in the discounting you would have to give. That will give you a certain bandwidth to increase or increase the pricing or meet the food cost requirement. Once you have this range, there are 3 steps which you need to do to identify item level pricing. First is the combo pricing. So combos, like I said in the menu, are best way to push the higher products in a single order as well as increase your order value. Generally, combos are a good way to combos should be comprises of two parts. One is the high profit item along with the low cost item. If you combine these two, your food cost as well as the customer conversion and likability would increase. Second, generally the combo price should be priced at a 15 to 20% discount by taking in the various products prices within that offerings. So if you're offering a main and a starter and a drink, you should be adding in the price of each item and then do a 15 to 20% discount. That's the best combo pricing in order to have higher sales. Second is the discount based pricing. Like I said, on almost all the platforms, discounting has kind of become a norm where you need to discount to get customers in a competitive market. So that's why discount pricing is a very effective way. Now, what we have seen is discount pricing works best for different. There's different strategy for repeat customers and new customers. If you are very early stage and starting off a new brand, it's very important to get a new customers. And what we have seen is a flat discounting without any threshold or minimum order value works best to attain the new customers and get customers on board. Once the customer has tried your product and really liked it, now then they would be able to have a repeat. So in order to have that repeat and in order to control the discount burn, the item level discounting works best for the repeat customer. For the repeat customer, you should not have, or you should abstain from having a percentage discount or a flat discounting. The item level discounting works best for the repeat customers, which will control your discounting burn along with maintaining the higher profitability. The last bit is if you have any rare item or unique offering, that should be priced in accordingly. Mind you, the labor and the wastage should be factored in as well. There you can premium or premiumize that item as because you don't have a particular benchmark as compared to the other offerings, right? So if none of the competitors are offering that item, you should be able to price that at a premium, much higher premium. Lastly, once you have the strategy, the pricing, item level pricing, the upper and the lower bound, as well as the menu structure, while aligning the items within that each category, the menu laddering is an important bit where you should sort the items within that each category in an ascending order of prices. There was a research done by one of the delivery platforms where they sorted out the items in ascending and descending order and various methodologies, and they found out that 68% of the customers ordered. There were 68% of the higher customer ordered in the menu which has the ascending order of pricing. So ascending order works best for higher customer conversion, and you should be able to have more and you should be able to convey your pricing to the customers. So once you have the menu design, the pricing strategy for each item, you can use these various methodologies to identify this pricing and price optimally in order to have higher profitability as well as higher customer orders.
So, Tushar, can I ask a question? So you put the cheaper products at the top, or you start with the more expensive ones?
So first of all, you should align your menu structure. So there are categories. So like meal deals goes on top, then there are starters, then main items. Within that each category, you should put the cheap product on top and then the expensive product at the bottom.
Brilliant. And how often should restaurants put their prices up, do you think? Is that an annual thing or more than once a year or less?
So in the last year, what we have seen is the pricing has significantly increased post-COVID. Now, customers are willing to pay at a premium for a better product. So now the pricing within the market have kind of become black and white, right? There are premium brands were charging high premium for good quality products, high service. And then there are massy brands where they're looking to volumize and sell as much as possible. So there's no in between also. But what we have seen is uh, you can increase the price. If you are only a delivery only kitchen, you should be able to increase price every quarter. And also, if possible, you should be experimenting with dynamic pricing. That's what most of the retail brands do. So if, for example, I mean, if you get most of the orders during dinner time and you want to increase your order volume in lunchtime, so you can decrease the prices during lunchtime and increase the prices during dinner time in order to manage your workforce and the operation capabilities. So dynamic pricing, if you have the capability and the software and the platforms to have do that, you can do that. And with a lot of POS systems being too efficient, dynamic pricing can be implemented. But yeah, I mean, in the early stages, it should be reviewed after each quarter. But I mean, once you have the good customer base, you can do the dynamic pricing as well.
And should we give the same price for both takeaway and delivery? Nikki is asking.
So if you are a one store outlet, ideally in a customer perspective, you should. But I understand that delivery platforms do have the commission rate and everything. And for that you need to factor in, right? But you should treat delivery platform as a volume game and raw margin game as compared to a takeaway. So in takeaway, you ideally the brand should have the same pricing, because as a customer, I should have the same experience and same money if I visit your center or order online. Or second is if so for takeaway, you would have a low volume but a high margin. But on the delivery platform, you would have a high volume at a comparatively low margin. So ideally, I'll suggest to have the same pricing, but factor in that commission rate in your pricing to manage the overall volume and margins.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Look at the psychology of pricing and menu design. It's actually really interesting. Are there any more questions from anyone else? Any final questions? If not, it's just a huge thank you to Tushar and Jisu for your excellent sessions today. And we will be sharing them after this session for anyone that would like to follow up with Peckwater, which is actually the fastest growing virtual kitchen brand in the UK. So it was a real pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Signing off now. Everyone have a fantastic rest of the day.